Greetings, Warriors of the Ring. I am so excited to share with you this game. I played this the 12th of November. This is my final regular league game that I played, and this was against Treebeard's Folly. If I win this game, it means I'll be tied with the Fat Hobbit for second/third place. If I lose, it means I'll just be in third place. Either way, this game was for fun. That's the way I viewed it. This is a crazy game. I'm gonna put this in Wild Rides as well because it was just a nutso game. So I'm playing free, and you can tell. Look at what I draw to start. I will go alone and fear fire foes. Treebeard's Folly is playing Shadow, and this is also available on the live stream, so you can check that out. Fellowship Bouquet allocates one eye, and he rolls no musters. He rolls 2 Palantirs, an army, 2 armies, and a character, and I roll Will of the West character and yeah, and 2 Palantirs. So the crazy thing is, you would never think as the Shadow player, what's going to happen? I pass. He draws a character card. Here I go. I will go alone. 2, 3. I could have moved him an extra one. But I can go 1, 2, 3. I can do 3 movement easy, and that way I can also get him to where he needs to go. He says, "Cool, turn 1," and I draw Mithril Coat as my card because again it's an ability to move him. It's very close. So yes, sir. He moves just the typical movements from Barad-dûr to Gorgoroth and Farharad to Nirharad using his army. I use the character die here to get my guys to Druideth, Loire, and Old Forest, so I can play Fear Fire Foes and bring the North straight to war. Because he can't even get the Witch King here. The Witch King is impossible for him. I say, get ready for fun. He says, Fear Fire Foes. That is exactly what you think. He says, crap. I say, yep. He plays Shelob's Lair, puts it in the pool. And I can draw cards from it. So Fear Fire Foes. Mary goes to the Shire to wake them up, bring them straight to war. And I also draw another strategy card. So I'm utilizing Ganev's abilities while getting a 5th die. This is an insane first turn. No, I'm not moving, but I'm getting a lot done. I asked him how Sauron's doing. He says he's mad. Yeah, so as mentioned, he just didn't get a ring. He doesn't get a muster. It's a poor guy. And I get Aragorn, which flips Gondor. And he moves his guys from Rhiannon up to Daggerlad. I draw Gwahir, Windlord, and Guards of the Citadel. He allocates no eyes, doesn't have to. And he rolls 3 eyes here. And I roll all movement. 3 movements, 2 Wills of the West. Treebeard's Folly says I should quit now. I said, you can if you want, but it's live stream. He chooses not to. He said, the death. So I decided to play Scouts / Red Arrow, because I can, for the card ability to move Rohan down. I forgot to draw for Gandalf. And I did. Okay, and roll Joel Amroth. There we go. I apologize. And now I decide to muster. At first I said about blocking. Then I realized, what was the point of Fear Fire Foes if I don't muster? So I bring an Elite into Dale. And he starts moving towards Gondor. I decide to move an Elite and a Leader into Woodland Realm the normal way. So that this is going to be super buff. He draws a strategy card. I move the Fellowship for the first time. It's missed. He attacks Carrick, playing Desperate Battle. He gets the hit, and I got 1 because of the Desperate Battle. And he closes them down. And I move the Fellowship. That's if I'm hit. It's a 0 reveal. So I am in, I'm right outside Moria. All right, turn 3, I draw Mirror of Galadriel, Book of Mizarble. Oh my gosh, poor guy. Oh my gosh. All right. He allocates an eye, rolls no more. He has 3 characters, a muster, 2 armies. So he didn't even get the Witch King last turn. You can get it now, though. Is Fellowship okay? He says great rolls. I decide to start mustering up in Dale to be obnoxious. He plays Morgul Wound on me because I forgot to hide. I had the Fellowship now. He plays Orc Patrol and draws a 0 reveal, so I'm revealed again. So we're doing nothing. I play Gua here. To move him 4 to Druidane Forest. So I can threaten... and I also move... I decided not to yet. Instead, I move him to Druid Loire. So Aragorn liked that area, and he wants to go back and visit it. And Mary checks out Evandim. I told him to get ready. He says, oh boy. He said, yeah, I see it. Book of Mizarbo. I say, yes, sir. I said, too bad you can't use musters on them. And he starts moving the Southrons and Easterlings into position, but they're not going to be at war for a while. I play Book of Mizarbo, get the dwarves to war. Straight to war. And I draw Swords and Eriador. He's going to make do so hard. And he moves the regular Isengard unit onto the Fellowship and condenses his South-Rune army into North-Rune. I pass. He brings the Witch King in. I decide to go right outside the Witch King so I can attack him if needed. He runs the Witch King away. I say, come on. And he puts another Nazgul onto the Fellowship. Alright, so I draw King Brandsmen, Horn of Gondor. Hard decision here what I want to get rid of. I don't remember what I did. Let's just see, because this is a replay. Muir of Galadriel I get rid of. And Swords and Eriador. Fellowship okay. He allocates an eye. Rolls 5 more. And I roll 2 characters. Will the West, a hybrid, and a muster. I started to play King Brandsmen right away. Now I have that giant army. Now I'm thinking it's military time, which is why these are always fun videos. And I draw into Wisdom of Elrond. And I start moving down towards Dol Guldur. He passes, but he starts moving these 4 guys back. And he moves these guys towards outside of... you can go to Erebor for free. Unfortunately, he's not at war. And I move my 1 Northman up. And these guys down towards Dol Guldur. He plays Olagai in Dol Guldur. I attack Dol Guldur before he can get back. He attacks as Gileath. Using a character card. And decides to do no card. I could have played Confusion on him. He gets 1 hit. And I get none back. And I run the guy into Minas Tirith. Alright. I attack Dol Guldur. I'm going to play Confusion to see if he can hit himself. It's probably the hope. And I get no hits. And he gets no hits. I press. I play Charge. I got 1 total hit. He gets none. I stop because I don't want to lose my my armies. I get Sudden Strike during Defiance. The danger of that army is there's no companions, which is what you want to go for in these military games. As I rewatch, he draws a character and a strategy card. He allocates no eyes and rolls 3, and there's his musters. I move Aragorn onto that army. He plays Hill Trolls to upgrade them. Attack Dol Guldur. I'm probably going to play a Sudden Strike. No, Mighty Attack. I got 1 hit. He gets none. I press. I play a Sudden Strike. I get 2 hits. And he gets nothing back. And I press again, and I get my hit. So, there we go. Dol Guldur is gone. But at what cost, right? That was like an entire army. Then there's the Southrons and Easterlings. So I have to be very careful of Erebor. For that reason, I bring in a lead to Erebor. And I laugh. He moves Isengard down to war. They're finally at war. It took them until turn 5 to get there. I play Reprove the Swifter to run Aragorn to Minas Tirith. So now I can use this army to do some shenanigans. He brings Saruman in. I move Gondor down to Minas Tirith. I do a field battle. My plan is to run away. I play Daring Defiance. He gets 4 hits. And I get 4 back. Why is he saying 5? Oh, he got 5 hits. Ouch. He presses, and I run away with Aragorn. He gets Minas Tirith. The way I see it, his military is really slow. He's going to want to retake. So I don't mind leaving instead of going under siege. Because if you go under siege, I could lose Aragorn. And I can't lose him. I draw 5 of Galadriel and Éomer, son of Éamund. Fellowship okay. 0 eyes. He rolls 1. And I run Aragorn to Edoras. Can he make it that far? 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay, to fold. He can travel through enemy control, because you could go as Gilead, right? It would be the same amount. I tell him I need musters. He says, no, you don't. Now that Southern and his Easterlings are finally at war, I draw a strategy card. I get Dane, perfect. He musters in Moria, Nazgul, and a regular in Gundabad. The Fellowship, I'm going to move the Fellowship just to make him have to allocate eyes. He tries to play Breaking of the Fellowship, but he can't because I hid. He was Palantir of Orthanc on the table. I give him a ring to get rid of it because I don't need that crap. I'd let him know he has a ring now. So he gets it back. He decides to start moving those 4 guys up towards the dew line. His second action, what did he do? From Nirn to Gorgoroth. Surprised he didn't attack the Aragorn army. Oh, no, Aragorn, there are no Aragorn there, that's why. He moves a regular into Iron Hills to take it. I pass. He attacks Dales from East Rondor, no card. I do no card. He gets no hits, I get none. He presses, I run away to Erebor. I pass. He decides to start reinforcing his troops. Gorgoroth to Minas Morgul. Old Forest Road to Dale. I pass. He plays New Powers Rising. And with the Fellowship, he misses on both rolls. Now he plays Corsairs of Umbar. If he's not careful and takes all of them, I could just walk in for a victory. But he leaves 1 behind. At turn 7, I draw Wizard's Staff and Faramir's Rangers. Declare the Fellowship in Mordor. In Moria, I mean. There's no tile for that because it's not a reveal. Checking the time. Yeah, I'm good. Okay. That way I can separate more companions out of here. All right. He rolls a lot of Palantirs, and I roll this. So I'm thinking I could separate Gandalf into Dol Guldur, and then I can make him Gandalf the White. So I move the whole Fellowship. They all go for Moria and leave and abandon Frodo and Sam in Moria. He plays Day Without Dawn here to get rid of my Will of the West. I say I had a plan, so now my plan's ruined. All right. All right, so he's moving his leadership around to the dew line. I pass. Maybe I should be mustering... I could muster 1 elite into Erebor. That could be a thing I do. Because then I could use Dane for the second one. Passing into place Isildur's Bane and draws an eye. And I start moving towards Moria. He gives me a ring to attack his Gilead. To West Horondor. Sorry, I move the 1 guy down from Pelargir down to West Horondor to threaten a military win on Umbar. He plays a deadly strife on him. He's not kidding. So he's dead. And I move outside Emerald Dale and I move to Pelargir. Because I could also have gone this way as well. To go to Farharad for my 4th point. Draws a character card. I give him a ring. And I change my mind. Because he can't do anything. And I'll attack next turn instead. I think the mistake we make sometimes, and I almost did it there, is we want to get that under siege so bad. But that doesn't do anything except it gives him a free action. So I muster an elite in Pelargir. He plays Ringbrazer Abroad to condense into Moria. And also to bring the guys from Minas Morgul out. I draw Círdan ships and Ents Awake. Alright, I get rid of Ents because I'm not going to use it, and Mithril Coat because I'm not going to use that either. Crazy, because I look at my... Wizard Staff is helpful now. Like, all these are helpful. I do get a Will of the West this time. I decided to put Moria under siege right away before he can muster. He realizes if the tile cards are there, we can play tile cards. I play Shadow is Moving. To move all of his people around. You can see they're going down here. Probably towards Dol Guldur. I do Moria. Gandalf can't shine though. But I just want to take him out before he draws any cards. I play Wizard Staff. So I can roll 3. I get 2. And he gets nothing back. Very unlucky for him. He draws a character card. I attack Moria again. He plays a tile card. I get my hits. And he gets 2 back. He didn't even need to play that card, but it's funny. And there we go. I'm at 5 victory points, so I can win here. There's a chance it's going to be the last turn. I don't remember if it is. He attacks Moria from North Druidane. I go under siege. I pass. He starts marching down here towards the two dwarves. I pass. He attacks Dol Guldur. I pass. He attacks Dol Guldur. I have a shield wall I can use. He plays a Great Host and gets him. But I got 2 back. So it was a valiant attempt, but this is thwarted for now. I say F. I put F in chat. I decide to move Rohan down. Because I'm like, I can have Rohan do stuff. Maybe. He takes Pelargir from his Gileath. Playing a Deadly Strife on him. And only gets 1. That was the weakest Deadly Strife I've ever seen. He presses I go to West Harondor. And I decide to move the Fellowship. And he misses. And I do that Fellowship movement so that he has to allocate 9. That's the only reason. Plus, I don't know if I might need to get them to Mordor. I draw Athelas and Grimbjorn, but it's also an Andruil. So Fellowship is outside. He rolls 3 total eyes. And I roll 2 characters. Oh, I didn't get Gandalf the White last turn. I could have gotten Gandalf the White instead, but I don't want to lose him. Alright. So I had draw... I roll 3 characters, a hybrid, and a Palantir. So I move Rowan all the way to war. He musters an Orthanc. I play Imrahil of Dol Amroth. And I change my mind to play Éomer into here. He decides to move Nazgul from Pelargir to Dimril Dale. Looks like he's just moving his leadership here to get his points in Gondor. I pass. He attacks Lossarnech, Barely gets a hit. He's rolling like garbage this game. But he's cycling strategy cards. Then he realized he can't do that because he didn't play one. So I decide to sortie out of Moria. And I changed my mind. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Instead, I move my leadership, everyone out of Edoras. I do have, I guess I already played it, Aomer. Candle Corpse, he thinks that's 3, but he forgets that Golem is a guide. Alright, I decide to move Aragorn to Westamnet. He blocks Path of the Woes. I think he's scared of it. I don't blame him. I say, come on, just in case you have Path. I don't have it. I think I played it in combat, actually. I move my other guy, so now I have this giant force of 3/3 with Aragorn. My plan is to go up and go to Dol Guldur. He moves. What is he doing? He recruits a Nazgul and a regular in Orthanc. So that's turn 9. Now we're in turn 10. I draw Last Battle, Challenge of the King. Challenge of the King is great for sudden strike. I also have Andruil. Secret of Grimbjorn. And he rolls 2. He has 2 eyes. I have plenty of movement here. My plan now is to muster all of Rohan out. Let's see what Rohan looks like. I still have 2 elites I can get. So I get an elite. He moves his guys onto Moria and also onto Dol Amroth. Now I start my march. My plan is 1, 2, 3, 4 for the win. He attacks D8. Playing Desperate Battle. He destroys them. I'm saving my cards for the battle that matters up here. He could also go for a victory, I guess. It's going to be hard to get it, though. He could go Helm's Deep and Edoras. If he goes 1, 2, 3, 4. He doesn't have enough dice. So here we go. I move an elite from Woodland Realm to Old Forest Road. Because I'm thinking I'm just going to reinforce these armies. Then I change my mind and go from Eastamnet to Western, whatever this is, Brownlands. He uses the voice ability. I attack Dol Guldur. They go under siege. He plays half orcs and goblin to make that army even stronger. I attack Dol Guldur. I have plenty of combat things I can do to him. I'm going to start with Valor. Maybe I should have done a charge first. It'd make more sense. I get 2 hits total. He gets 1 back. I press. Now I play the charge. Nothing. And I get 1. He gets nothing back, though. I press. Now I'm going to play Andruil. I still have a sudden strike I can play as well. I get nothing. But Andruil will get 2 automatically. He gets nothing back. I press. Treebeard's Folly is having an awesome combat. His combat rolls are horrendous. No card. Because I'm thinking of saving Sudden Strike for the retake in Moria. And I get 1. I get 1 hit. He gets none back. And I press, and I do no card. And I get my hit. And he gets a hit back. His first hit in a while. So now I'm at 5, so he has to retake in Moria now. So he draws a strategy card to start. He moves all his leadership around. And now he plays, he attacks. I play a Daylight. I probably should have played a Shield Wall. That would guarantee me the win here. But he does not get what he needs. He only gets 1 hit. That's a good game. And I roll back 2. So that was a crazy game. Crazy way to end the league. Thank you to Treebeard's Folly for allowing me to record this video. obviously. And again, this whole series of League games is dedicated to Prince Fox. I didn't believe we could do it, but a few of us did. So thank you for your motivation. It motivated me to play all my games. You might have noticed that there was a whole bunch of channel content. There's one more tiebreak game you can watch that we played. I played with Fat Hobbit because this game tied me for second. We played a tiebreaker game. Check it in the live stream. I'm not going to make a video of that one because that was outside of the league. But you can check it out. It's very short. And right now, I'm actually in my playoff games. I just played my first game. I have one more potential game to play. So I did lose my first game against Disgruntled Veteran. It was probably the most lopsided BS game in a while. I had a chance of winning. I encourage you to watch it. And my next game is going to be against Ira, which I'm pretty excited about. So thank you all for watching. Let's look at the stats. I feel like his stats were complete garbage. Yes, they were. Mine were okay, but I can't really complain. He was -8 on 6s, -2 on 5s. I was -3 on 6s and +2 on 5s. So thank you, Treebeard's Folly. And please like, subscribe, leave a comment. I love reading the comments in these videos. I'm going to post this video when it's posted. So thank you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye.